well, maybe
Bigg
the
Weezy.
Bible said.
Okay.
The Bible
Yeah. There it is. Mr. Dalton, how you doing, sir?
Hey, well, that's the bull, Bigg Weezy.
Yeah, so I love this guy. He's got the greatest beard. I wish I could grow a beard, man.
Weezy.
My face is too fat to grow a beard. That's the problem.
You look like Tevin Campbell. Hey, Weezy.
Yeah.
Hey, Weezy.
Yeah.
Nigga, you look like you in the Ritz. You at the Ritz-Carlton, nigga.
No, I'm actually at the X's. I'm sitting in my favorite chair, which will be going with me one day.
All right, I'm cutting in here because we just went live on Pod Brother Nation.
Right.
All of the links are working
I
for
thought we was live, Kim, bro.
No, we go live right at 8 o'clock,
now.
like clockwork, baby.
Yo, hey,
What's up,
Weezy.
everybody?
What's happening, everybody?
First thing on Instagram, everybody that's on Instagram, thanks for joining in. Thanks for coming in. I'm happy that you're here tonight. This is Bigg Weezy. Remember, you can catch us all on Pod Brother Nation, nation.com if you want to see what these guys look like, because I got Mr. Stephen Kimbrough, who runs this whole thing, puts it all together, and special guest Mr. Lionel Dalton is with us tonight. He's going to tell us what it's like to be a comedian who was stuck in the quarantine. All right? There's some stuff that he made me sign that I can't tell you about. Only he can tell you about. Welcome,
Nice.
Mr. Lionel Dalton. What's up, baby?
Welcome,
What's
Mr.
up, man?
Lionel.
What's up?
Hey,
What up, Kim, bro?
by the way, I want to throw a quick disclaimer in there before we get started. We're dropping the N-word for this show. We're dropping the N-word.
We're dropping it?
We're dropping.
So I can use that?
No,
I can use it
no,
for this show?
no. We're not. We're dropping it out of the show. I mean, we're dropping it out of the dialogue. We're not dropping it down. We're not dropping it in. We're dropping it out.
All right, we're dropping it. Well, normally what happens is
Hey, Weezy. Is this West Angeles podcast? What's going on, man?
No.
No, you be edgy as you want.
Who you marketing stuff to, man?
You can be as edgy as you want.
Is this for Jehovah's Witness station, man?
Out of respect.
He told me I can't use the, you know what I mean? I can't, I'm Kendro.
You can sub it. You can find a creative way to sub it out. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Weezy, with a name like that, Kimbrough, I will not say it. That is a warrior name.
I was going to say, man, you know how many brothers I dropped just from calling me that, white and black. I would drop. If you want to get dropped by Kimbrough, you pop the N-word out and crack like, hey, come on.
Yeah, that boy, nah, I'm good, man. I don't gotta say the word.
I just said, man. 50% of my knuckles came from like somebody. You can talk about his mama, man. You can talk about anybody you want to, but as soon as you call that Negro, wasn't it? It's on. Like I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. I'm just telling. Don't say I didn't tell you, because I told you.
What's up, Weezy?
But see, we can say Negro.
You can say Negro, yeah.
I ain't saying that. I say the real deal. I say the real deal at the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store, and now we on Black Planet now, and we can't talk. I can't.
Well, let me put it to you like this. All them brothers that was lynched, I guarantee you, probably the last word they heard before they took their last breath probably was the N-word. And that ain't the way to go out. That ain't the way to go out.
Hey, Kimbrough, I'm high, man. Come on, man. You acting too much of Farrakhan right now. This is called laugh. This is, hey, Weezy, act like Farrakhan. Now, are not to be act like Muhammad.
I'm just trying to save myself some. I'm just trying to save myself some. Hey, Lionel. Look, Lionel. You could, it's America. It's America. You got the freedom of speech. You can say what you want. I just want to save myself some editing on the reboot. That's all.
What's so funny, Weezy, is that he trying to have a serious show. We laughing like a mother.
Oh no, well, you know what? No, sometimes we get a little deep, But you know, I'm all about the laughter.
Hey Weezy, you look good. You look good. I like that hat.
I don't look as good as you though, bro.
I like that hat, Weezy. You
It's
stay
tilted.
Weezy always look good.
Hey, Kim, bro.
Yeah.
The way his hat is tilted, that's the same way he drive. That's the coolest driving motherfucker.
That's the Detroit lean he got going right now.
Man, that boy be driving. Look like he got all his clothes hanging up in the back.
That's exactly right.
Man, I would love to ride with Weezy, boy.
Sweet.
Yeah, but the problem is you know, you're going to end up smelling like cigars you ride with me because I'll be puffing all day.
It's all good. I got my weed.
And nobody, and people smoke weed in the car all the time. That's to combat the cigar smoke, you know.
What's
but
up?
listen, Lionel.
Yeah.
Well, listen. I didn't mean to bum rush your show, Weezy. It's all your show.
No.
You guys chop it up, have some fun, man. I'm gonna just kick back and enjoy it. I'm gonna
It's
kick
all
back
good,
and have
brother
some laughs, man.
Have a Malcolm? Brother Malcolm?
So now,
What you mean? I can't sell no bean pies.
now Lionel, man, we've been in the pandemic for like 3 months, right?
Yeah.
And
My fault. I had to go open the door. Go ahead, I'm listening.
no, that's all right. We've been in the pandemic for like 3 months, man.
Right.
And as a comedian, how has this been affecting you?
How has this been affecting me?
Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I think mine is the coronavirus and all the stuff that's bad happening to people, man.
Yes.
You know, my heart goes out to them, man. But to be honest, this quarantine helped me become a better Lionel Dalton because I took time out to do more reading. You know,
right.
And I've been coming up with a lot of funny material, man. A lot of funny jokes, man. And I just been really taking the time out, detoxing from people, and becoming a better me, man. So, and you know, and it also helps me to really appreciate family more. So I get to call people and talk to loved ones. So, you know, it's been really good for me, man.
Oh, that's good. For me, I've been able to do a lot more eating and enjoy some of my favorite pastrami's. I had a week where I hit 3 or 4 different pastrami places and did my Yelp review unofficially.
Okay. Well, I know. Well, we know quarantine was not going to stop you from eating.
No, it's not.
That's definitely not going to stop.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. God decided the drive-thrus were essential when the pandemic started, and that's all they got. You couldn't go to Macy's. You couldn't go to Nordstrom's, right? You couldn't go to J.C. Penney, but you could go to Jim's Burger during the pandemic. I'm telling you, I was in heaven. It's like my prayers were answered. You know what I'm saying? Herbert, how you doing, Herbert?
Yo, you just put the Holy Ghost off a burger.
Yes.
No, I
said you go to Jim. Oh God, Jesus.
Okay.
No,
so
Lionel and I were sitting back being like, Weezy, don't go out there, man. Is that pandemic out there? We was like, I'm going to get me one of them burgers. Y'all on your own.
Well, see, because look, what happened is...
Hey, Weezy. Hey, Weezy. Do me, tell Kim, bro, you have to write his jokes down, man. Because...
I believe he heard you.
He act like I'm not in the room, man. He act like I'm not here.
My fault, Kim, bro. Yo, this is a dope. To be honest, this is my first time live doing this, man. So Bigg Weezy called me, and Bigg Weezy, I said, nigga, anything for you, man.
Oh, you got to be a regular.
Got me out, man.
You have to be a regular.
I'm excited.
Yeah, of course. Because what happens is I don't really hang out with a lot of comedians. But I like comedians.
Man, you roll with Katt Williams, man. You roll with Katt Williams.
But what I'm saying is you are committed to the craft. You're committed to getting better. You're committed to always trying to do what it takes to be the best that you can be when you're on stage. And that's what I admire about you, see? That's why, you know, comedians like yourself and others, those are the people that I talk to, that they can call me, because I appreciate that. I'm constantly working in my head. You know, I can sit around all day, no TV on, just working on jokes in my head and writing them down, sometimes mouthing them into my recording. And you're constantly striving you're constantly writing. You're constantly striving to make your jokes better. You're constantly working on your material, lengthening your set. So that's what I admire about you. And the work ethic is amazing.
That's man. Listen, man. I take those words, man, and I keep them dear to my heart, man. I really appreciate that, man. Because when I do work, all I really focus on, is making my set better and just getting as authentic as possible, man. Because there's nothing like that laughter, man. But to be honest, the times when I was talking to you, like you work with Katt Williams. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You done showed out shows, where I'm destined to be, But at the end of the day, man, I admire that. So when I call you and I talk to you, I'll be like, yo, Weezy, man, how was this moment? How does it feel? How long you got to wait for the laughter? So I want to let you know that right there is amazing, man, to do comedy at that highest level. So I'm a big believer of giving people their flowers now. And when I told you that, man, I meant every bit of it, man. It's an honor to even, to be around you, man, and learn from you. And at the end of the day, we brothers, people go through stuff, but it's at the end of the day, like, I really appreciate you, man.
No, thank you very much. And it's just, as a matter of fact, I remember before the pandemic hit, you were scheduled to open up for Martin Lawrence. And that had to be a highlight, even though, the pandemic came. But before the pandemic, that must have been something you were looking forward to. That must have been something.
Man, when I tell you, I had the tour dates on my damn wall. I didn't even have a calendar. I put them on the wall. Just to get, you know what? Just to have Martin Lawrence people, right?
Yes.
See me perform.
Yeah.
And was blown away. It was like, yo, I love you. I like you. I'm gonna tell Martin about you. I'm gonna tell Martin brother about you and all that stuff. And it just came together. And it was like, yo, they love you. They want you to open up. So I had the dates together, man. But what was what was so good about it is that when it got canceled, when Corona hit, Martin Lawrence people called me personally and they said, hey, we're gonna push the tour back to like September or something like that. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. So just seeing people that I admire and people that been in the game for a long time and they recognize my talent, that let me know I'm doing something right. Don't stop.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not just your talent, man. I mean, what Weezy just said, and because he knows, because he's been in and out of so many different industries, and every single one of them require a very strong work ethic. So it's a combination, because I know a lot of talented people, but their work ethic is shit.
Terrible.
And you're constantly beating them. And like, man, you got so much talent. If you could just have some soft and hard skills on the business trade side, you could really kill it. And they don't get that. But like, I just met you just now.
I will say, I will say, man, to be honest, people see my work ethic. They see like the talent, the time I put on stage, and I'm keep going at it. But what they don't see, man, is the talented, wonderful people that's in LA that helps me navigate to get to my destination. So those the people. So yes, you see me, but please believe it's people behind me that believe in me and that's pushing me and that's supporting me.
Yeah, but and you know what, Lionel? They see that too. They see that too.
Without them, man, I'm really, I'm not there. So I want to thank all those folks that really been that's been vouching for me, because LA, this shit hard.
Oh yeah,
it's hard out here. I've been at literally every level out here. I pretty much been at, man. Homeless, sleeping in the gym, sleeping in cars. I slept in cars so much I thought it was my apartment. I swear to God. Listen, I slept in the car so much, right, bro, that I used to pull up to a parking spot and I thought that was my house. I was mad one day because somebody parked in my spot. I was like, yo, man, it's my home right here, dog. What you doing?
Right.
Come to find out, he lived in the building. That was his parking spot. I'm Brody in this thing. I don't even live at the damn building.
That's crazy.
I can't make this stuff up.
Right. Yeah, that's.
I had to wake up out my mind. I was like, yo, man, this is not life.
Right.
I think you almost have to go through that to qualify for greatness, because everybody's got to like sleep in your car LA story who has, finally made it to a point where it's, it's respectable. And you almost have to go to a lot of those hardships. People want to qualify for greatness, but they don't want to run the great obstacle course to do it. And the people who do, you can tell. You can just tell. I mean, and especially with stand-up comics, because we're already programmed and geared to go so deep and take that deepness and put it at a levity, so that you can, kind of live with all this craziness that you're going through right now, because you need an outlet, and comedy is a way to do that. Take the most fucked up, deepest shit that's going down that makes you want to slit your wrist, bring it to a level of levity, and now you can deal with. You can throw it all away. But guess what? You have to have been through some of that to even be able to relate, to even be able to find the lighter side, so that you can share that with someone else. Because like we all know, that fake ass dude on the stage trying to do some material on some hardship, and we know he's not coming from a credible place. So none of this shit is funny.
What helped me a lot was I used to sit in the house. I still do, but I used to come home at night, and I would just lay in bed with my iPad, whatever, and I would just listen to Richard Pryor. Like everything about Richard Pryor, I just listened to Richard Pryor. And then I was like, oh my God, this brother, his life was almost like my life.
Mirrored it,
all he's doing is turning his life and putting it on stage and turning his pain into laughter. So that's when I start realizing, I say, yo, I feel like I'm Richard Pryor. I feel like, I can go out there and give the world my life, give the world my pain.
Right.
I think the biggest challenge is finding a woman that will accept all that and not judge you.
That's the hardest challenge of all of this. I mean, you can handle living in the car, and you can handle going without creature comforts and amenities and money, but it's really hard to navigate this world, especially the world we're in, without a woman who can really truly understand you and support you. That's the hardest part of this whole thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I admire comedians who have long-term marriages. Darren Carter, the party starter. I'll look at him. He's out every night.
I like that.
Yeah, he's out every night. He's doing his thing. If he's not on stage, he's hanging at the club, and he's married, and his wife understands it. Imagine every night you leave for work at like 5 or 6 in the evening to go to a club, all right, to hang out and tell jokes till like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then you have to go home and do the family thing during the daytime and still write your jokes and still book your spots and all these things. And you have to have a woman that trusts you enough when you're out there doing it, not to call you every 10 minutes.
But you know what? Also, it's both sides though. I think in order for a woman to trust you, you gotta allow, she gotta trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you want her, her loyalty, but you got to give it too both ways. And that's what it is. And I think with this business, one thing I realized over the years doing stand-up comedy, man, you need a strong woman by your side.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, this world, this city, this entertainment business, it will eat you up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially someone who's willing to take the ride.
Corner, man.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to ask me before I roll out?
No, that was about it, bro. Just listen.
Yeah.
What is your plan now? The pandemic is starting to ease up. You know that if things go right, September you're gonna be rolling with Marty Marr. So what else? What else are you? Oh, by the way, I mentioned this last week. You're in that short film called Gritty.
Gritty, yeah.
And that was a hell of a performance you did. I mean, hell of a performance. I enjoyed your performance. I was really taking. This is how you know it's a good performance when it's a guy like me. I'm looking at the film and I'm like, that's not Lionel Dalton. I'm looking at you. That's your character. That's the type of job you did in that film.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. It was a dark film. It was dark. It wasn't too dark, but it was dark. But one thing, a lot of people didn't know that I started acting first. You know, like I graduated from Stella Adler. I went to theater schools in Philly. You know, I came out here, took a lot of acting schools. I read a lot of acting books. You know, but that project there was really, it was a rough one, man. So now, as an actor, I like to really emerge into characters. I like to if I get a job, my goal is to be that character. I want to live it. I want to live through it. I want to breathe that character. I want to change that character walk. I want to change that character look, his thinking. So, you know, even when I'm on set, I want people to call me that character because it gives me. I love to become something else.
Yes.
But when that character's over, I gotta let it go because a lot of folks can relapse because it's deep, man.
Yes.
Acting is really deep when you're doing it right.
Yeah. So now that we know that Hollywood's going to be different, we know that there's going to be social distancing. The sets are going to be different. They're going to have guidelines. They're still trying to come up with the guidelines and everything. We also know that because of George Floyd, a lot of things have changed. First off, they've already canceled Cops.
Yeah, they did cancel Cops.
Canceled Cops. They canceled Live PD. They're talking about certain shows. I'm just using this show as an example, like Chicago PD. I watched a couple of old episodes of Chicago PD, and the cops are actually brutalizing the characters that are playing the bad guys in these shows. And there was a discussion last week about Hollywood probably trying to change the image of shows like that. And I was kind of on the fence with that because the reason I was on the fence is that we understand when we're watching that is make-believe. At least I do. All right. I'm watching it and saying those are actors with jobs. All right. What I'm looking for is people of color to be portrayed in more prominent ways instead of just ways that are suspects and things like that. So for you, where acting is such a big part of your life, what are you going to be looking for when you're looking at roles and things like that? Are you going to change your methodology and how you accept roles, or what are you thinking about right now?
Well, I always, think on particular roles I want to take, but I just think that at the end of the day, it starts with every individual human being, man. We have to love each other.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. We have to really love each other, man, and not look at the racism thing and because you black, because you white, because you Mexican. We really got to have somebody in power that's teaching love and not hate.
You know what I would like to see? Because I want to feel that question, Weezy. That's an excellent question. What I would love to see is so much programming that is 100% black cast to the point to where white people are going, well, where's the white person in this show? Like, there should be at least one white person. We watched 40 shows, all black cast. Where the white people? If we get to that point,
here's the thing. I don't think like I understand your point. I do understand your point, but I think that if we doing that tradition, then we're not learning. It's like we're not doing anything but doing what they're doing to us.
True.
And we're doing it back to them.
Not really. Not really.
Hear me out. Let me say this before I get out of here. All I'm saying is like what you said was, I want to see an all black cast, right? And don't get me wrong, I would love to see that too. But if we just focus on just all black cast, then we'll be just like them, just how they focus on just all white cast. The thing is, we need to focus on everybody coming together equally and spreading different flavors of human beings together.
No,
that's what we're missing.
That's not my point. I get all that, and I want to see all that. But at the same time, look back in the history of TV and film and see the hundreds and maybe thousands of shows that were all white, and there wasn't a consideration about black being in it. These were just human stories with human people. They just so happened to be all white. There wasn't even an issue about a color because a color wasn't a variable in the story. I want to see that on the black side.
But you know what? At one time, I think it was that because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I grew up in an all-black home in the hood, man. We had like one TV, and I grew up on all-black shows. You know, my favorite show. I don't even watch TV to this day, really, because a lot of stuff don't make me laugh no more. Because I grew up with the Jeffersons, Sanford and Son, Good Times, Amen. You know, so, but also I watch Married with Children. So
right.
I get exactly what you're saying, but at the end of the day, Kim, bro, I think it starts with you. If you want, my thing is, if you want to see that, then you create that and you write that and you build your writing staff, you build your team, and you come up with a production, a nice script, you know, a nice story, and then you find your way in Hollywood and you find the showrunners or the producers that can help your dream or your vision come to light.
Well, I'm looking to be the showrunner and the producer and the director. I'm looking for somebody to help me set that up. I'm just gonna do it, and who likes it likes it, and who doesn't, who doesn't.
But at the end of the day, know this: teamwork makes the dream work. We can't do it by ourselves.
I understand that,
so you can be the showrunner, but you still need those producers. You still need those casting directors. So
that's true.
Like I said, once we all got to come together.
That's true, but let me tell you something. If I write a project and I cast you in it, I cast Weezy in it, and I cast probably 30 of the most funniest, sexiest, talented people that I know that just so happen to be black. I'm not casting them because they're black, but it just so happened to be black. I'm telling you, that project will be a kick-ass fucking project, and not because it's an all-black cast. It's because everyone in it is bringing the A game. They're talented. They got a work ethic, and they're good. And black or white watching it, they're not going to notice it's all black because it's going to be good. I'm just gonna duplicate that. Now, don't get me wrong. I get inclusive and diversity, and I will do diverse projects, and I will do eclectic projects because I get what you're saying. We're on the same page with that.
At the end of the day, it's about business. It's about business, and it's about money, and it's about
no. Not at the end of the day. It's about us and our art, and we just happen to make money.
Hear me out. Listen, if you want to work in Hollywood, it's about money. I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
it's about ratings.
But here's the thing. Listen, you're doing comedy. You do comedy. How many of those gigs you take because it's a business is for the money, but it's not really a show that you're super excited about.
I'm trying to
and then you have those shows that you do.
I'm trying to explain to you. Just hear me out. Just hear me. One thing. It's one thing. What I'm saying is, if you get, first of all, African Americans, where are we, like 17% population? Like we're not a big population, huh?
Maybe 12%.
So basically, what I'm saying is, if you're a producer and you're a director and you want your project on a hit on Fox or HBO, and you just focus it on just blacks, therefore you only going to target just blacks. But if you sprinkle white, Hispanics, Asians, Koreans, now you're going worldwide.
I got that. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. We're on the same page. We're on the same page.
Yeah, that's what it is. But if you want to stay just us, you have no problem with that either.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying.
What I'm saying. I gotta run, y'all. I gotta run.
All right, to be continued, man. Love having you, man. We got to chop this up again.
Yes, Lionel. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you, bro. I love you, man. I'll see you again soon.
I love you too, man. Let's do this again, man. I might come back next week.
Hey, we should talk. We should talk about you having your own show on the podcast, your own podcast, man.
Let's talk about it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Give him my info, Weezy.
I will. I'll give it to him.
I love y'all.
All right.
I love you, man.
Love
Peace,
you too, bro.
Baby.
Thank you, bro.
No problem.
All right. See, so it's so funny because what you guys were talking about is exactly what I've been talking about. All right. What you were talking about, Stephen, that is what equality actually is.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, I know. That's what you're saying an all-black cast and people can't notice it. Lionel was talking about, what he's talking about is 100% correct. In Hollywood, it's about the money and reaching everybody.
That is correct.
If we can get to a point where that doesn't make a difference when we're casting, then we're talking about the ultimate thing. Both the points that you guys are talking about, that's the ultimate way that we hope that we're trying to get to. And right now, we're witnessing a change of those possibilities coming true. But Hollywood is its own different animal, my friend.
Yeah,
you know.
I get it. But I also think that equality means equal and catching up. So let's just say the numbers of how many all-white movies and all-white TV shows that had nothing to do with the selection of them being white. That's right. Just the industry. So if we're going to be equal, if we're going to catch up, and in order for people to look at black talent and not see black, just see talent, there needs to be a flood of projects that are black overloaded projects of talent, and not because they're black. It's just like, take every story, take the top 200 white movies, all white movies, and recast them, reboot them all black. Not because they're black, but just to even the exposure of black talent, right, so that when you want to do a diverse project that Lina was talking about, which I am super excited to do, now you've got a bank, a wealth, you've got a deep pool of black talent that are actors that have played parts over the decades that have nothing to do with blackness or blackish. It's
that's correct, and that's why. Well, first off, I got to let everybody know that are watching on Instagram Live. Remember, Pod Brothers Nation. Am I getting it right, Stephen? That's what I make sure.
Singular. Ain't but one Pod Brother in the universe, so it's not Pod Brothers.
PodBrotherNation.com.
That's it.
That's where you can see us right now if you want to see us instead of just listening to their voices and watching Bigg Weezy. Okay? You can go to PodBrotherNation.com and you can see everyone that is on the discussion that we're talking about today on the podcast.
They need to click on Watch This. That's because the Watch This is the live feed.
Yeah, you watch this live and you click on that, and that's how you find us. Because what happened is we started off with the first half of the show was about being quarantined as a comedian and, not being able to get on stage. Some of the people I've talked about, not being able to get on stage has really been something. We've tried to virtually do comedy with the Zoom. Zoom has become the go-to comedy show. I did my first stand-up last Sunday. All right, I did 25 minutes because they paid me for 25 minutes. They wanted 40 minutes, but they only gave me 25-minute money. And what was so crazy is when I finished, all right, I was getting those pats on the back. Great job, Weezy. That was a fantastic set, Weezy. And I'm feeling good. And then I listened to the tape yesterday and said, my God, that was terrible. It was just a terrible set. I wasn't happy with it at all. I was like, I got a long way to go to get back to just being decent. So that's what it is for us comedians, right? We're missing that stage time, that time that gets us sharp, keeps us sharp. Because I'm telling you, with everyone patting me on the back when I got off the stage on Sunday, I was feeling good till I listened to that tape, right? It was like dropping 25, but I shot, see, what's it in basketball? If you take the number of shots in basketball, it equals your points. You didn't have a good night. So it was like I shot 25 shots to get my 25 points, So wasn't happy with that at all. Not at all.
Yeah,
But Pod Brother Nation, podbrothernation.com. Hit the link, watch this. If you go to podbrothernation.com, hit the link, watch this. You can see Stephen Kimbrough. You can see myself, Bigg Weezy. Of course, you can see me right now on IG Live. Got about 25 minutes left. And Herbert. We got Herbert Morris on. Herbert hasn't gotten the word edgewise. Every time we start talking black shit, Herbert can't get that word in.
No, Herbert is a fly on the wall. He's kind of the objective ear.
Okay? Herbert, they asked Herbert on Wednesday morning, how was your night? Nah, man, those black folks got together and had a meeting last night on PubBrother.com. I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. They're talking about things I don't even know about. They kept calling each other fam. I don't even know what that means. Fam. What's going on, fam? How's this, fam? How's your fam? Herbert's like, I have no idea about what's going on. I mean, hell, I did Vietnam. I worked, when I worked with the brothers in Vietnam, we already knew they were running point. They were running point when we went out to do patrol. Put the brother on the point. But anyway, Herbert, welcome, Herbert. How you doing, sir?
Well, so far so good. And Vietnam, you couldn't see that. You couldn't just look down the middle. You had to be wide angle all the time. You had to get that movement.
That was crazy. Crazy time for you, sir. But welcome. I missed you last week, Herbert. Missed you last week, my friend.
Yeah.
Did you get the login information last week, Herbert, or did you have a woman over? I'm just.
No, Herbert was here last week, weren't you? You were here last week, weren't you?
Here.
Yeah, he was in the Zoom with us.
I was right there. You were really on a roll.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, I had Herbert in the thumbnail, and he was down the pipeline. I didn't have the Brady Bunch screen. That's why.
I got you. Got you.
I basically had the speaker screen.
All right.
Yeah.
So, because I would have called on Herbert.
I couldn't say anything on that show. You were on an amazing roll.
Well, I thought I was by myself, so I thought, oh my God, this is perfect.
No, because
I get to talk.
Because
you have to remember, Herbert, last week, we did pretty much 15, 20 minutes on Steven's burrito problem,
Yes, which I appreciate.
And then now for the rest of the week since then, I've been analyzing every burrito I've purchased and every bite, and it hit me. I was like, my God, I took a bite. There was no onion and cilantro in that bite. Yeah, Steven's right. We need to start a revolution on burritos. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Weezy, Herb and I, we're like your biggest fan, and Herb had a plate of some soup and a salad and some as his background. And you didn't mention anything about it, and we were both like, we couldn't wait for you to dive in and bust Herb's balls about his background, and it didn't happen. But I mean, last week was awesome. It was a great show. And Herb's right, you were on a fucking roll. So it's like I didn't even chat Herb to say anything about it, and I didn't say anything about it. But Herb, do you still have that background?
Yeah.
Okay. So the background you see now is Herb he's a digital artist, and that's called a fractal, and he makes these fractal arts that we sell in the gallery on the Arc Theater gallery, online gallery. But Herb is a very good cook, and when this COVID thing lifts up, I want to have at the theater kind of a comics potluck comedy show where every comic brings like a pot of real food, and then we do a show, and then we can all sit down and eat everybody's food, and then we do a podcast about everybody's food.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because when I was a kid, potluck was it was like a prayer being answered for me.
I love potluck. I loved it.
I mean, because potluck was up there with bobbing for apples for me. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, bobbing for apples happened around Halloween.
Yes.
Right? You'd stand in line. Okay, the line would be 7 or 8 people. There was a barrel. right? We didn't even care about what was about anything. It was a barrel filled with water, and then people dumped apples in there. And we stood in line, okay? And the person in front of us would stick their face with their mouth wide open, all right? And they would just go after apples, right? You get an apple in your mouth and slip out. You didn't care. You went for another apple. That's what we did. That's what Bob, right? That's what potluck used to be.
Yeah.
All right.
And
now
Weezy,
you can't get me. Yeah.
We didn't switch out the water for each person.
We didn't switch out, right. No, when we didn't switch out the water, we bombed until there was nothing to bomb for. That's what potluck used to be for me. Now, you can't get me to eat anybody else's food that shows up with a pot or a pan. Let me tell you, today I prepared for my mother's dinner tonight, smothered chicken with rosemary, with fresh rosemary, okay? And sour cream, cheddar cheese, mashed potatoes. That's what I prepared, okay? When I turned on, my brother was looking at me, are you going to turn the water off? Absolutely not. I handle the chicken, right? Then I wash my hands thoroughly for 20 seconds, all right? And then I go back and handle something else. And whatever I handle, I wash my hands after every time I do it. And my brother said, what? I said, this way I guarantee there's no cross-contamination.
Yeah.
And even when I grab the handle of the saute pan or grab the handle of the pot, I'm very clean because, being a former restaurateur, you learn these about cross. Even my refrigerator handles aren't get contaminated. So I don't know if people cook like that in their homes, Stephen. So it's hard for me
to trust it.
Okay, when we spoke last week about the burrito situation, remember I talked about the open kitchen where you can see the kitchen and you can stand there,
right?
And if you can give them directions and you can tell them. See, those are the places I eat at where I can see what's happening in the kitchen. All right, it's like the one time I went to. People say, well, Panda Express is not bad. Panda Express isn't bad, but I was in Panda Express one day when the guy dropped the towel on the floor, picked it up, and continued to use it.
Oh,
all right?
Man.
So, of course, me being the type of guy I am, I made sure I mentioned it to the manager, and then I left. All right? I wasn't going to eat at Panda Express, that Panda Express, and I have only eaten at it once. My last bad experience in the restaurant business, when employees use the restrooms, you cannot wear an apron to the restroom. It is against the health code, period. No excuses. Guy is at In-N-Out Burger. He comes in, and I see him out of the corner of my eye. He uses the stall. He walks out of the stall, doesn't wash his hands, and he's wearing an apron. So now I'm not going to eat at that In-N-Out Burger. Okay, because I'm disappointed. That's a large chain. They have a significant amount of training. And for this person to not understand that the lives that fall under his purview with him preparing whatever capacity he works in that kitchen, whether he's just slicing French fries or just doing fries or just handling lettuce, that's appalling to a guy like me, all right? So when you say potluck,
well, you saying good luck because I'm not eating any of it.
I'll bring my dish and eat my dish.
Well, I trust you, Weezy, and I trust Herb, and I trust myself. So right. I would be eating at least 3 dishes in the potluck. Everything else, I'd be like, I don't know. It depends on if I've eaten with you and I've shared some kitchen time and I know how you cook and, and I know what your hygiene is.
My family, man. My family, I don't really know if my family is good like that or not, but I eat their food because why? They're still alive and they're still doing well. Yeah. So, that works for me. All right. My exes, oh my God, man, they can burn. All right. When they cook, it's not an issue. I know how they handle food. That is not a problem, all right? But this is not like the old days, back when I was in junior high, when they had a potluck, everyone showed up. No, there was nothing on fire. Everyone brought the pot and sat on the table, all right? and then we dish it out at room temperature. That is the danger zone of danger zones when it comes to food. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I buy fish. When I buy fish, there is ice on my fish in the refrigerator because fish has to be colder than regular food. That's why it's on ice in a plate. I tell people, if you want to know how to handle food, look how they handle it at the supermarket. All right? That's right? Because why is bread in your refrigerator? And they said, well, so it stays fresh. First thing, do you ever find bread in the refrigerator in the supermarket? No. Bread is not meant to be refrigerated. You can freeze it, but you don't refrigerate it. It deteriorates quicker. Bread is meant to sit out on the counter or anywhere, but not refrigerated, all right? 3 or 4 days, and that's it. You walk into a bakery, okay? Everything's out. The donuts are out. The pastries are out. Everything's there. That's the way you do it.
Right.
I went too far again, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Herb, where's that picture? I thought you were going to put that background. You still have it?
I still have it. I don't know how to change it without. I can go away and come back real quick.
No. All you have to do is
No. Just have it. Just bring it. Just have it next week, Herb. I mean,
all right, do it next week.
I just feel bad. I didn't have an opportunity to comment on it last week. Because I didn't see it, Stephen. Because I'm not going to let that go.
I know you weren't. That's why I was like, oh man, Weezy is super focused because he didn't even see Herb's, his food, it's food that he cooked. He cooked it, took a picture of it, made it his background, and we were both kind of like, we're like
you're just sitting there. Weezy's gonna
we at the matinee waiting for the good part. It's just like, man,
Weezy's gonna get wet.
Weezy's gonna see this, man. We can't wait to hear what Weezy gonna say on this shit.
Right, His nipples are gonna get hard. You guys are.
We were like salivating.
Until Weezy gets that picture, Weezy's nipples are gonna be hard. Right?
Like Kimbro, how do you swap?
Yeah, still 15 minutes, Justin. Go ahead.
You go to up in the corner where it says preferences for your Zoom, and then in preferences you can change the virtual background, and then you have to click on the plus sign to add a new virtual background, and then
I'm just going to keep my real background.
Yeah,
I'm just going to keep I'm keeping my real background.
You see my background, right, Weezy? How you like my background?
Yeah, it says laugh.
It's my logo, but it's bigger than the background, so it's My Laughers Comedy Club. My Laughers Comedy Club logo, but I have to make a smaller version of it so that it all fits in.
Well, the good thing is that right now the way it's positioned, your head is an A. See, it's your head's the A, So that's fantastic. Your head's the A,
Nice.
So that's great. To everybody that's watching on IG Live, I thank you for watching. I appreciate your support every week. Remember, podbrothernation.com. You can click on there, watch live, and you can see what Stephen looks like. I think Stephen has gotten a haircut.
I did get a haircut. Yeah, I mean, this is my my Corona haircut, and I did.
I was able to get my haircut a little over a week and a half ago. For those of you that can see this, it's not combed, but this is the regular Weezy box cut fade that I like to wear.
Nice.
And it was so crazy. All right. First, I had to make an appointment. Did you have to make an appointment, Stephen?
No, because I did it myself.
Oh, you did
the clipper mirror with the hand thing.
Yes, I had to make an appointment with my hair cutter, and when I got to the shop, I was 10 minutes late, and it's Weezy. This is not like before. We just walked in and I just did your hair. If it's 12:45, if it's 11:30, it's 11:30. We got people to come in after, and then you can mess up the whole deal, right? And,
so you didn't apply.
He was able to get it done.
You didn't apply your drive-through philosophy to your haircut and appointment, Weezy?
I did not. I applied my what I used to call it hard time, soft time. See, I have something called hard time and soft time. Hard time means that's the time. Soft time means there's some flexibility, 10, 10 minutes either way. All right, so my family knows. Sometimes my family will say, listen, can you be here at 3? And I'll say, is that hard time or soft time? They say it's soft time. Well, I may stop and get a banana split on the way and show up 10, 15 minutes later. All right, if it's hard time, I'm going to buy the banana split and take it with me and eat while I'm driving. Either way, I'm getting the banana split. The bottom line is I'm showing up on time. If it's hard time, I might be a little late if it's soft time. So now I know appointment for the haircut, hard time. Then each chair is more than 6 feet apart, and there is a wooden partition with clear plastic in between each chair. All right, and I found that very fascinating. He was wearing a mask. I was wearing a mask, and the whole experience, the shop was empty. The whole experience of talking shit about shit that's probably politically important, but the resolutions and solutions being discussed are so outlandish that they can only be discussed in the barbershop. That's
true. And that's part of the fun of going to the barbershop, getting all of those responses, and 50% of them are so ridiculous, is what makes it so entertaining.
Right. And then so you can't do that move. All right? That move is like, oh man, you full of shit, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh man, fuck that, man. Fuck that. And then the pre-argument argument. Man, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, man. Back in 75. Okay, 75, man, when you had to start using seatbelts. Because prior to 75, you didn't need no seatbelt. But back in 75, when you had to start using seatbelts, when the Afros was out there here, man, I'm telling you, motherfucker, there was just one slice of cheese on the quarter pounder, man. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's what happened in the barbershop. Right?
I missed that too, man.
There is no Stacey Adams. Nobody is named Stacey. That's just the name of the shoe car. Man, get out of here, man. You don't know what the fuck
you talking about, man.
I
used to play bingo with Stacey down at the Elk Club, man. You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
You don't know what the fuck. Man, I fucked Stacey Adams' girl. Now what? That's what happens in the barbershop, right? Yeah. I fucked Stacey Adams' girl. Now what, motherfucker? Yeah. Shit, you don't know what I'm talking about. That's right, man. Brunette, man, wore them eyelashes just about so ass was bam. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, man. Talking about, Stacey Adams. Shit, I went to school with Stacey Adams' second cousin. Yeah, that's right. His second cousin was my play cousin.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, man, his real name is Tracy Adams. I was the motherfucker that told him to say Stacey Adams.
Right.
I knew him when he was Tracy Adams, man. You don't get the fuck. Right. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, man.
Right, man. That's what it is. See, they like it when I'm in the barbershop because I can do that food talk, right? I'll be like, man, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, man. Let me tell you, Foster is his name. His last name is not Farms. Okay? His last name is not Farms. His last name is Foster. The Farms is where they grow the chickens, motherfucker. His name ain't Foster Farms. As a matter of fact, his first name is Laniqua Foster. That motherfucker's name is Laniqua Foster. All right? And then what happened was that he was raising chickens. Okay, when he started raising the chickens, then he decided to start selling the chickens, all right? Then him and Zachy started beefing, so then Zachy, he opened up his own farm. So then you got Zachy Farm, you got Buster Farms, all right? It's like the Crips and the Floods of the chicken, motherfucker. Get out of here. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, Stacey Adams, motherfucker.
And then Tyson, he used to have an ostrich farm. But
right.
You hadn't seen the ostrich, how big it is, man. And when he was looking at the Foster farm, he like, man, I'm going to raise me some chickens too.
That's right. See, like my boy Shamar just said, the barbershop is the only place you can talk shit to, right? Not only that, you can find out who your girl is cheating on at the barbershop, man. right? Because see, you could show a picture of the girl at the barbershop and say, yeah, that's your girl, man? Yeah. How is she? Man, pussy tight as fuck. Then another brother say, no, it wasn't, man. Not when I had it. That's how you know. Right? Because the other brother gonna tell you, pussy wasn't that great when I had it.
Wasn't that great, man. It was loose. It was loosey-goosey, man, when I had it. It was like stirring paint when I was in that mob.
That's right. And then you got to, then what happens is once you do all of that, then the dates come out. Well, wait a minute, man. When did you have it? Right? Because as brothers, we want to be the last one in it.
The last one in. Shut the door, man. You know the rules, Weezy.
Right. We want to be the last. That's how it works. You be the last one in it, right? See, I'm one of those brothers that don't really care. I don't care if you was in it last night. I don't care. I don't care if you was in it. I don't care if you come after me. All right? That makes no difference to me. Right? Right? Because why? Here it comes, Stephen. Why? I'm trifling. Because in the barbershop, you trifling.
You're trifling.
I'm one of those oh, here comes Weezy, that trifling motherfucker. You're a trifling motherfucker. That's all you know. Right? Yeah, that's what it is. I'm trifling. Herbert, you familiar with trifling, Herbert?
I've been in barber shops, and I know they do
that. That is it, man. That's it. And you know what's so crazy, Herbert? You know what's so crazy, Stephen? Is the barbershop is just all the brothers sitting there, right? All the brothers sitting there. We all talking. Then it's that one girl walk in with her little son. And the whole place gets quiet.
Yeah. Yep. Shuts down.
The whole place gets quiet. She shuts it down.
Yeah.
Right? Because she comes in and she's wearing her mini skirt with them dusty ass, pink ass, dirty slippers on. Right? And right then and there, my nipples are getting hard because that's my style. That's
right.
Me, right? You give me a dusty ass ghetto girl, I am sold right there. I'll look at her and I say,
Oh. I can't talk. I'm kind of on Zoom right now.
There we go. Somebody was calling the middle of the show. So I'll look at it. Oh my God. And I'll be like, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. You know, because your braids have to be dusty, you know, be like 4 or 5 months on. All right. Yeah, that used to be me, Steve.
They were afraid.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All right, that used to be me. That's how Weezy used to hang. That's how Weezy used to roll.
But then, but then there's that moment. You know, he's all, you know, the kid's all done. He's all tight with the East Coast fade. She walks out. You know, thank you, bye. As soon as the door closed, I told you, you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Right.
It picked up right when the door opened. They came in, and like right at that moment, man, literally like letter to letter, it picked up right where you left off.
Right, picked up right where it left off, man. Right where it left off. So no, that's it. That is it.
Weezy, we got 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes left, Weezy. What do you want to do a quick shout out for? How can we find you? You know, I want you guys to support Weezy at tippingcomedians.com. Just go on tippingcomedians.com. Click on the comics drop-down menu. You'll see Bigg Weezy's name. Click on it.
Yeah.
You know, starts with
And don't tip me like you tipped them motherfucking Grubhub drivers either. You know, you gonna send me some money. Send me some real money.
Some real money.
You know what I'm saying? Some real money.
Like 3-4 digits.
Right, some real money.
Where can we find you, my brother?
You can find me at BiggWeezy.com. As a matter of fact, I got to update BiggWeezy.com. Go in there and check my website. Find me at BiggWeezy.com, and that leads you to everything else. But, of course, on Instagram, it's I am Bigg Weezy. That's where I post all of my comedic content as far as shows I'm going to be doing and things like that. My Bigg Weezy Instagram page, that is where I just all kinds of crap, you know. Some days it'll be serious, especially now with the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, I'll be pushing some of that. And sometimes I'm pushing some, you know, dusty bitches shit. Then sometimes it's some funny shit. So that's what that Bigg Weezy page is all about. And then, of course, on Facebook, you get Wayne, Bigg Weezy Brown, Bigg Weezy. There is a Bigg Weezy, my other page. So, you know, that's where you can find me. Now, listen, when you do find me, remember the most important thing. There's not much
30
There's not much
seconds,
going
Weezy.
on.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. There's not much going on when you see my pages, right? Because if you want to find out what's going on with Bigg Weezy, if you want to see some funny stuff, Bigg Weezy, it's Tuesdays, 8 p.m., right here on podbrothernation.com. That's where you're going to have the last. That's where we're going to talk. That's where we're going to have some stuff. We're going to have a special guest. I'm going to see if I can get my boy Sherwin R.A. to come on next week.
Yeah,
man.
anybody you want, man. It's your show. It's your show. So
No
I'm just
problem.
here for the
So-
ride, man.
Absolutely. So peace, everybody. See you next week. Be we.